Hello all and welcome to tonight's beer review. As you can see, I'm still in the process of cleaning. And no, it seems like, it never stops and technically it kind of doesn't stop, but I'm still ongoing with it. I'm going to dub this review well, damn, I don't know. So anyways, this is the first review I've recorded since the town of Lahaina burned down. It is literally the worst natural disaster, well, sort of natural disaster, to hit this state since recorded history, really, unless you're counting like epidemics during the early historic period. And yeah, um, an entire town on another island. So where I live is, more or less safe. But a couple days ago, another rather famous town, and it was previously the royal capital of the island when this island was a kingdom before the capital moved to Honolulu. And so it had a lot of history behind it. There's very many old buildings and museums there. Uh, a tourist town on the waterfront, and 10,000 residents, and it's more or less all gone within span of a few hours. Um, and there are many dead and over 1,000 still missing. It's really kind of some heavy stuff, and it's kind of odd to be acknowledging this during a beer review, but it does really weigh heavy on everyone who lives in this state. But life goes on, and in the case of this channel, the beer reviews must go on. So I first reviewed this particular beer nearly 10 years ago, and I just went and reviewed the video I uploaded, and dang, nearly 10 years 10 years of reviewing alcohol has done a number on my face and voice. You can go and look at the two videos. It's like a totally different person is now reviewing these. So I quite liked this when I reviewed it nearly 10 years ago at the start of my beer reviewing career. And this is Twilight Summer Ale. It is, of course, a blonde ale. And yeah, so 38 IBUs, 5.0 ABV. Let's read the label a little bit here. Bask in the last light of this crisp and easy drinking summer ale. Where are you enjoying your twilight? Show us with twilight moments. Well, it's past twilight already, so I won't be showing you that. And this was packaged on 8th of June 2023, so still fairly fresh, because it's only August right now. So let's go and pour this out. I forgot. Deschutes sales are always. I always need to remember to do a slow pour on these bottle conditioned ones. So I got about 3 fingers worth of ale, or maybe 3 fingers, or 3 fingers to 2.5 fingers worth of very fluffy, thick off-white head. Sort of a yellow copper color, nicely carbonated, somewhat hazy. Nose is touches of grapefruit, yuzu, and crackery to bready malt base underneath that. A little bit closed up, a little bit cold, but you know, something like this, you should be enjoying it cold. Onto the palate now, shall we? So, rather, yeah, fairly bitter up front. It's sort of grapefruit and yuzu juiciness behind that initial kind of bitterness. Bitterness has a slight piney dimension, very slight though, nothing compared to like a West Coast style IPA. There's a slight pininess. That sort of lasts in the long finish there too. The top note is pretty much the same as the bouquet, you know. Inclusive of those sort of malty notes as well. There is a very slight sweetness there, very slight, very subtle in the mids to finish. But overall, very much more on the dry side. But you still definitely have a lot of the flavor elements of the malting coming in. You know, definitely get a sort of crackery malt note on the palate. And all in all, it's I have to say it's pretty satisfying. It's pretty satisfying. You know, I probably don't enjoy it as much as I did in my previous review, but yeah, it's satisfying. As I've drank a lot more beers now, I have a lot more blonde ales that I would rate above this one. This one is almost a this one is almost not quite refreshing enough. It's a bit thicker, a bit more it you know it comes across as a bit more heavy than you know. I kind of want a little bit more lighter body now with what my tastes are, but you know the flavor profile and the overall drinkability isn't that bad. And some might venture it would be good. Maybe I'm just getting jaded. I mean, so there's not very many taste notes there, but they all interplay in an interesting way. Maybe just a slightly less bittering hops too. Just minor quibbles of someone who's become quite jaded with his beer drinking. Huh, freshest within 4 months. Just notice that on the label. That's a new thing, new verbiage on the label. They have changed the label a little bit, as you can see. So yeah, I think this is definitely, one to try if you're wanting a summer beer that is refreshing and flavorful, yet completely different from a lager style beer. This is 100% like an ale taste profile. Apparently, it contains kind of hops that get me stuffed up. But being that it's not as heavily hopped as an IPA, I'm not as having as strong as a reaction. Yeah. So if you're looking for something a little bit different than a crispy pilsner, but still hits a spot during the summer, I think this one kind of does it. Personally, it's not my favorite of the style anymore. I kind of raved about it in previous reviews, but yeah, it's still a pretty solid beer. Yeah, Twilight Summer Ale from Deschutes Brewing. That, folks, is your beer review for tonight. Cheers.